What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with another episode of Zatima Season 4, Episode 10, Through the Fire. Before I start, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Make sure y'all like all of the videos so I can stay in the algorithm. I appreciate y'all for everything. Once again, I apologize for bringing Zatima to y'all so late, 2 days late. So I'm usually on it, but my apologies. So yeah, anyway, y'all, the episode starts with Zach and Fatima. They're having a conversation. He notices that she looks rather somber, and he was like, well, you know, what's going on with you? What's wrong with you? And she just don't look like everything is good. So she's constantly lying to him, and this shit is really aggravating to no end, because it's aggravating just because you're pregnant, y'all. I'm not saying that because she's pregnant she's just, you know, but you are putting this is a dangerous situation. Now, I can see if it was something minor, but this is crazy. Okay. So they come outside. You know, Deja can barely hold water. She was like, I got your back, and this and that. And Zach looking like, what the y'all talking about? And so in that moment, I really wanted Deja to slip out and say it. But Fatima was kind of signaling her not to say anything. And I'm looking at Fatima like, again, whatever. I just want Deja to say something. I don't even want to spend a lot of time on this because it's aggravating. Okay. So Jeremiah is in the projects. He looking for money. Y'all know he want that money for that crack. Okay. He see a D boy named T-Bird, and he was like, man, I got $250K for my mama's insurance policy. And so he was like, no, you don't. First of all, he was lying, because I don't even think that lady had money like that. Or even if she had a policy, but it wasn't even that much. So Zach and them still had to come out of their pocket to pay for the funeral. That part. So T-Bird knows that Jeremiah is lying, and he told Jeremiah, listen, I'm gonna give you the work, but you're gonna have to start working for him. I was like, why would you let a crackhead work for you? Why? What he gonna do? Okay, looked like he gonna have probably Jeremiah stealing some stuff. I don't know. So in the next scene, we get Fatima and Angela. And Fatima tells Angela Leslie showed up at their house last night. She also tells Angela that Zach doesn't know. Angela tells her, you know, you need to tell Zach because you're in trouble. Angela is about to pass out because she ain't eating from them shots. And I'm just like, hold up. She just took them shots 24 hours ago. Do them shots work that fast? Like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know what's the dosage, but apparently looked like she only ate at that restaurant and she didn't eat nothing else. So there was this back and forth between her and Fatima. She was like, okay, I'll just go get a piece of bread. And Fatima was like, I'm going to make sure you go and get that bread. So when Fatima gets up, she was like, okay, she had to go to the restroom. And I think I want to say she also had some pain in her stomach again. But whatever. So in the next scene, Zach is at the office, and he forgot to, y'all know he was supposed to get the inspector he was supposed to find an inspector while, what's his name? Bryce and Preston talked to the developers. And so Zach dropped the ball on that because he's too busy over here. Now, I know everybody thinks that Bryce was aggravating in this moment, but I wasn't mad at Bryce. And I also know that everybody may think that Bryce shouldn't have said nothing because he lost all of Zach's money. Even though Zach recouped his money back by way of Preston, I just felt like accountability should have been had in this moment. Now, did Bryce have too much dip on his chip? A little bit. But again, I wasn't mad at it. And so Bryce tells Zach, you know, you've been dropping the ball a lot lately. Bryce tells him, you know, you've been MIA on some Zach said, Zach was like, I have a lot going on. And Bryce tell him, listen, we all do. And he tells him, if you don't solidify the inspector, then they screwed. So Bryce also tells him, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in you. Bryce reminds him that, you missed the meeting. Zach tells him, about the baby shower. And that's not, and you're not going to make me choose between work and my family. He tells Bryce, he asked them to move the meeting. And so Bryce was like, it just doesn't work that way. It don't. Just because you want something moved doesn't mean it works in your favor like that. And so then Bryce tells him, for you not to show up, it makes you look like you are an assistant and not one of the partners. And so Zach gets mad. You cannot get mad. You cannot get mad. You are allowing Zatima to really strong arm you. And that's another thing that's pissing me off. He's going to have to work. You have a mom and dad. You can go to your parents' house, or they can come to your house to help you. Everybody's willing and available there to help you. What's pissing me off is Zach putting all of the eggs, and I get it. He's showing up, but you have to find balance. Just like Zatima, you guys are not trying to find balance, and that's what's aggravating me. You are not putting, Fatima's not putting her health first. She's not putting her safety first. And Zach, I guess it is a line drawn between working and having a family. But this is the life you chose also. So you're going to have to move some stuff around. So that baby shower, Angela could have handled that. But you're trying to prove to Zatima that you can be the do-all, be-all dads of the world. And that's just not how that works. So Zach gets an attitude, and he was about to jump on Bryce. You can't do that. So Preston walks in and asks what's happening, and Bryce says, Zach can't handle the truth, and he cannot. But you can damn sure dish it out to everybody else and be in everybody else's business and feel like you have all the wisdom and all the words to tell everybody else what to do and how to operate. That's not how they work. So Preston says to Bryce that Zach does have a lot going on. It doesn't matter, and you constantly giving him passes, it makes everything worse. It doesn't give him, the accountability is not, I'm sorry, y'all, the accountability is not had when you, Preston, make excuses for Zach. Anyway, Bryce tells Zach what happened in his life. He also tells him, I'm scared that you're not all in. And I think at this point, Bryce was sharing how, his dad missed a lot of his games because his dad had to work. And I also think that Bryce was kind of equating that as his dad being successful. And Bryce also said, this is why I don't have any kids, because it takes a lot to try to balance yourself between your family and, your home life. So Preston tells Zach, you're gonna have to choose at some point. Zach apologizes to Bryce, as he should have, because you have to chill. So over at the hospital, over at the office, Zatima starts spotting, and she's headed to the hospital. And so Zach, Bryce, and Preston was headed to a conference call to talk to the inspector. Zach gets a call. It was Zatima. And they was like, are you going to take it? And he was like, no, I'm good. But then they told him to take the call. So they let Zach know that they're headed to the hospital because Zatima is spotting. And they was like, okay, go take care of that. It's all of these things. But the main thing is, you're over here spotting because you are stressed out. And you can eliminate all of this. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, she is making my nerves bad. You can eliminate all this stupid ass stress. Anyway, I'm supposed to be zen, okay? This just So Zach gets to the hospital with this pissy ass attitude. He has this attitude with Angela, and I'm like, you got some fucking nerve, okay? Angela tells him, hey, I just need, just calm down. And he tells her, because y'all know, who are you talking to? Like, who the fuck you talking to? He tells her, listen, I get it, but don't tell me to fucking calm down. Sir! They could not, I'm sorry, like, I could not have friends like them. Anyway, Fatima is okay, and she agrees to bed rest. Angela blurts out the Leslie situation, and Fatima at this moment had to be honest. So then he started to try to grill Angela, and Angela was like, girl, you don't tell your man this bullshit, what's going on? No, you're not finna grill me. Ask her. So Zach tells her, you getting a bodyguard, because at this point he's pissed, like he's highly pissed, and I don't blame him. So Zach is scared and he's getting emotional, and I guess it's all based on the last situation. I guess everything what happened to Karen. He doesn't want his baby to be stillborn, but Fatima is operating this stupid bitch shit. Okay, she being a stupid hoe. And she pissing me off. So y'all, Zach tell Fatima, this don't feel right, and it feels like nobody's taking the pregnancy seriously. And sir, Fatima is the only one responsible for her own pregnancy. She's not taking it serious. She is, but there are things that she's doing and the way that she's moving that further lets us know that she ain't taking it serious. So don't get mad at nobody but her. You can't make this woman do nothing she don't want to do. You was not there when everybody was, trying to help her. And she had an attitude, a full-on attitude. I guess hormones my ass. Please. So Jeremiah gets high. And he goes behind the building, and his mom comes. He tells his mom, I've been trying to get to you because he don't want to be here anymore. He said, you all I got. And she said, that's not true. And he was like, don't nobody love me. And she was like, Zach love you. And oh, y'all, I'm spacing. And she told him Zach loves him. And he was like, no, nobody don't love me. She tells him that he's carrying her addiction, and she tells him he's better than that. You're better than this, and you don't need to come here anymore. That means you need to not get high anymore. I don't need to see you anymore. And she just vanishes away, and he gets up and he runs. He kept saying, "Mama, mama, mama." Y'all, that's crazy. If that ain't a wake-up call, I don't know what that is. So Bryce calls Zach and apologized for his tone. He also asked how Fatima was doing, and he was like, Fatima is fine. And so Zach is putting Fatima in the car. They're leaving the hospital, and you can visibly see that Fatima is looking around, spooked the fuck out about Leslie. And you act like you don't need a damn bodyguard. And so Zach was like, no, Fatima was like, well, listen, I need to go to the office to get my computer, my paperwork, and I need to let them know what happened. But you can't call your job. Angela can go to your job and let them know what's happening. It's that. And so he gets mad, and he was like, this is what I'm talking about. And they get into an argument. And it's almost like when she doesn't get what she wants, she has this full-on fit. And that's been pissing me off these past 10 episodes. It's her stupid ass attitude. Okay? You can't hit on people, but you need to take this finger and push the... Don't do that. Anyway, I just needed to say that. So Connie is outside over at Connie's. She's outside. She got whatever she can get from out of the fire, and there is a suitcase full of clothes. Social worker shows up to Connie's house, and we found out that Connie actually started the fire because she was cooking and seemed like she fell asleep. And the social worker was like, okay, now this is an open investigation. And so nobody checks on Connie. Connie really doesn't disclose anything. So that's what's aggravating me about Connie, the fact that you're not disclosing anything to anybody. Like, now you and your kids have to live at a motel. You have friends. You probably have family that we haven't seen. But you have family. You have kids. You have cancer. And it's progressive. And you have treatments that you have to go to. Anyway, Angela takes the shot again, and she about to pass the hell out. I don't know if it's because she didn't eat, or I don't know if it's something in that shot that she ain't supposed to be drinking. So she drinks some water, and she comes back to, and then she asks, what the hell was that, ma'am? That was that damn shot that you probably shouldn't be taking. And this is where the episode ended. Again, y'all, I don't know when this comes back. I don't know when this is going to return. But, of course, I will let y'all know once I find out. But it was actually pretty good. This first 10 episodes, I would say, usually from season, I want to say it was like season 1 through 3, it will always be like the first episode was always good. But then the second episode behind it will always be lackluster. But in this season, both episodes, like every week you get 2 new episodes, both episodes been good. I don't think anything has been lackluster. Connie and Fatima had managed to get on my nerves. I'm glad that they sped up the process with Fatima's pregnancy. And we also need to delve into this court situation, and we need to figure out what's going on with Michael, if that's Zach's kid. We need to find out, which that probably should have been a thing. Is Fatima gonna have her baby this season? What are we doing with Leslie? It's so many storylines. Connie needs to disclose all of her information to everybody. Everybody needs to be there. We need to see this progression with Nathan. And we still need to figure out Tony's situation and how Tony is mentally, emotionally handling that unaliving of the person who tried to rob his shop. Like, it's a lot. We have all of these storylines, okay? We just need to figure it out. I don't know how he gonna put that in 10 more episodes, but they gonna have to figure some stuff out, okay? Yeah, so this was a good one. This was good. Again, I will let y'all know whenever, I guess, the second half come back. But other than that, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.